In this video, we'll discuss the steps to making a motion in the United States. First, we'll discuss what a motion is, then noticing the motion, supporting the motion, and also opposing the motion. First, let's take a look at what a motion is. A motion just means that one party is asking the court to make a ruling on something. And by a ruling, we mean the party is asking the court to make a decision about something, to decide something. And there are actually many different circumstances where a party would make a motion. For example, you may already know what a motion to dismiss is. A motion to dismiss is where a party or an attorney asks the court to get rid of a plaintiff's case because of some defect. But a motion could also be about a completely different matter. For example, a motion for an extension of time. And that's where the party asks the court to rule, for example, that he has more time to submit his papers. Now let's talk about noticing the motion. Let's say that Patty has decided to sue David, and David's attorney has reviewed Patty's case and is recommending to David that they move to dismiss. One important part of this motion is going to be the notice of motion, in which David's attorney informs Patty and her attorney that he's making this motion to dismiss, that he's moving to dismiss the case. And our notice of motion is going to have important information, such as when and where David will be making the motion and the nature of the motion, in this case, a motion to dismiss. When Patty and her lawyer see this notice of motion, they're informed of what David's attorney is going to try and do. He's going to try to dismiss the case, and they're also informed of when and where he's going to be making this motion. And now we'll look at supporting the motion. David's attorney is not just going to be noticing the motion. He's going to also have to support the motion. He's asking the court to dismiss the case, so he's going to have to give a reason. So in addition to the notice of motion, David's attorney will probably put together something called a brief or a memorandum of law in support of the motion. The memorandum of law is going to include a discussion of legal points and important facts. For some motions, there might be evidence to include, and this evidence will be included as exhibits. So maybe David's attorney will include an important photograph, or perhaps an important contract will be included as exhibits to the motion. So now Patty and her attorney are probably going to get a big package, and this package will include the notice of motion, telling them when and where David will be moving the court, and it's probably going to include a memorandum of law that will have legal points supporting the motion. And depending on the motion, there could also be exhibits that would be included if there's important evidence, such as documents. And this takes us to opposing the motion. So at this point, Patty's lawyer now knows that David's lawyer is moving to dismiss the case. So now it's time for Patty's lawyer to prepare a memorandum of law or brief opposing the motion. David's lawyer has done his work, and now it's time for Patty's lawyer to get to work to explain to the judge why he shouldn't grant this motion. And often there will be a hearing in which the judge will hear the arguments over the motion to help him make his decision. To summarize, a motion is a request to a court to make a ruling. Most motions will require the moving party to notify other parties of the motion, to notice the motion, and to support the motion with a memorandum of law or a brief. Other parties will submit opposing papers, and the court will often schedule a hearing day with oral argument before deciding the motion.